Hello and welcome to another edition of Wander and Muse. I'm Heather Wolpern, your host, and today my guest is Jennifer Rischard. Hello, Jennifer.
Hi, Heather.
And she's visiting today from Santa Rita Lodge in Madera Canyon. Is it an hour from Tucson, is it?
Depending what part of Tucson you can, the southern end, you can get there in about 45 minutes,
Yeah.
but kind of heart of Tucson, you want to plan about an hour.
So go ahead and first start by just telling people what you're doing at this moment in time.
I came into the picture, into the Santa Rita Lodge picture a few years ago. My husband Steve's family has owned the lodge for, 17.
Oh, that
no,
long.
coming, it'll be about 17 years.
Oh, I had no idea it had been that long.
Yeah,
That's
he's
awesome.
taken it over and been at the helm for a little over 10 years, so 11 or
Right.
12 years. He's been the main man on the scene there.
Right.
But I came into the picture just a few years ago, and I'm still kind of sorting out what my title is,
Right,
as
exactly.
many small business and entrepreneur
Uh-huh.
people do, because you wear so many hats.
Definitely.
My work is massage therapy and yoga. So
Right.
I guess I had the concept of creating a wellness suite or
Mhm.
wellness center of sorts at the lodge, which is primarily a birding lodge, and
Exactly.
it's in the heart of Coronado National Forest. It's in an amazing setting,
It is.
and it's in the corridor of a migratory corridor for so many birds. We get over 250 birds a year, different species of birds a year through
That's amazing.
that canyon.
Even that in and of itself is a podcast. I mean,
I know
all those different birds.
You'll have to have Steve back for that side of things.
Yeah.
But since that is not my forte, I thought it might be a nice way to bring new people to the lodge and to the canyon in
Definitely.
general, or birders as well. Just
Exactly.
another layer of or another option of ways that people can enjoy being in nature and enjoy the
Definitely.
national forest, and give more options and amenities for people to experience while they're there,
Exactly.
and experience the healing power of nature. So
Definitely.
so I created a wellness suite. We converted a guest room into a massage studio, and it's also kind of a center of command for me of to create yoga events, wellness
Exactly.
events, retreats, things like that. So that all kind of morphed it from this little massage
Right.
studio. So I started with the massage. We started doing massage a few days a week up there. Then that evolved to, well, let's bring yoga to the canyon, and it's outdoor, so it's kind of a wilderness experience. We do
Right.
the yoga in outdoor spaces there in the canyon on the property. Now we are building a yurt, so we'll have the
Wow.
option of doing things indoors when weather is not so pleasant to be
But a
outside.
yurt really is the best of both worlds, because you feel like you're in nature still, because it's not that much of a barrier, yet you do have that protection from the elements a bit more.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
what diameter is this yurt?
It's 30 feet
That's a
diameter,
big
so
yurt.
it's as big as we could have made at
That's
this point in time.
fantastic.
But yeah, you're right. It's, I mean, yurts historically or traditionally have been used by nomadic cultures around the world,
Yeah.
and you pack them up and take
Right,
them with you, and they're
exactly.
semi-permanent. So the nice thing is that it's not going to disturb, permanently impact the landscape there
That's a
or
good
the
point.
land. So
That's a good point.
when the Santa Rita Lodge is done with it, or if we're, if we
Right.
have different plans, or the Forest Service has different plans for that
Exactly.
land, it can be removed without too much trauma
That's true.
or change of the footprint of the land. So it has a very natural feel to it. It kind of blends with the natural environment.
Definitely.
Even when you're in it, you're going to feel like you're having an outdoor experience.
Exactly.
That you can stay warm and dry.
Exactly. And then I'm just a fan too of how the yurt is circular, and how
You
when
love
you're
circles.
doing, I do love circles. I love all sorts of shapes of circles. But what I like about circles, especially if you're doing, say, a retreat where you have everyone gathered in the circle, I feel like it really increases the sense of community among each other. I mean, when you go out to dinner and you're at a circular table, the conversation goes so much better than when you're at a long, skinny, rectangular table, and these people at that end aren't even hearing what these people are talking about. So I like the idea that you are kind of having this circular with your retreat. So talk a little bit more about your retreats, because I know you started by having, a day of yoga or that sort of thing, but now your ideas are growing quite a bit. So talk about what's next.
Yeah, well, yeah, it began kind of with the inception of the Wellness Suite and my taking on a more of a role in the business and in my own way. We started with occasionally having a specialty yoga class outdoors,
Right.
like a New Year's Day or
Mm-hmm.
a Valentine's or
Mm-hmm.
Earth
Sure.
Day, things like that. We
Exactly.
just special yoga events,
Uh-huh.
and then about this will be our third year, so 3 years ago the concept or idea of having a weekend long retreat was you leave, not only you're spending this time in nature, which is so healing and
Yes.
profound in and of itself, but the
Right.
connection that these women make. I mean, often, yes, most women, some women come alone, but some are coming with a friend or a group of
Sure.
friends.
Uh-huh.
And so there's that side of it, that's super fun. But
Mm-hmm.
these women are connecting with people they've never met
I
before
love that.
and opening up in such a vulnerable and real way. And they're
Right.
just becoming so authentic in what they share and how they support each other. And it has been life changing for me as a facilitator to
Right.
watch that happen. And that's what
That's
keeps me
really
going. It makes me want to,
powerful.
like, hey, what are we doing for the next one?
Yeah.
And it's been really, really
And that's
satisfying
powerful,
and
right?
powerful. Yeah.
That you've created this that people are really enjoying. And then the word of mouth from that, I think, will help quite a bit too. Just when people say, I had this amazing weekend at Santa
Yeah.
Rita Lodge, you
Yeah.
should do the next one. That's amazing. And so now you've been really focused on your work at the Santa Rita Lodge with your massage and your yoga, and now these new wellness retreats. But let's go back, because you have been a massage therapist and a yoga instructor for quite some time, right? So talk a little bit about like how that all began and when you knew like, wow, this is actually a career I want to pursue,
Yeah.
and tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah. Well, my whole life, and I think many people's is just,
A culmination of
yeah,
experiences
everything
and
just builds
interests.
on the previous thing.
Yes.
I certainly didn't, I'm not one of those that had a grand design or an ultimate goal that I was trying to
Right.
get to
Uh-huh.
career wise.
Mm-hmm.
I started as a young mom and I had little kids, and
Right. That was your
my,
focus.
yeah, my going into my undergrad degree right after high school, my focus was more creative. I studied writing
Uh-huh.
and journalism and art, and those were things I really cared about and
Right.
thought would sustain me down the road. And they
Exactly.
do. I
They
mean,
do. You
but I
use
didn't,
it all now.
absolutely.
You write the
And
newsletter for
yeah,
Santa
newsletters,
Rita
social
Lodge.
media, email
Yeah.
campaigns, things like that. So
Sure.
I am tapping back into dusting off the old degree a little bit, I guess.
Exactly.
But
As you should.
my fitness background, so along with the undergrad writing communications, as a part-time job all through college, I taught fitness classes in
Okay.
gyms and health clubs and country
Oh, I
clubs
didn't
and
know
things like,
that.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And that was so fun. But
Sure.
that was the side gig,
Sure,
that.
sure.
But over the years, I did it when my kids were little. It
Yeah.
was an easy little,
Way to make money for something
part-time
you're
thing
good
to
at.
do
Yeah.
and keep me out of the house for a couple hours and meet
Right.
other adults,
Uh-huh.
which
Exactly.
is
That stage
important.
of life, that's so
Yeah.
important.
So that's something that I found a lot of joy in, and it was fun, and I
Mm-hmm.
felt good at it. I was super interested in the body and how it moves and
Sure.
how muscles work and how everything's connected, and how the body can heal itself and you can condition it, with intentional movement.
Right.
So that was a continuing thread all through my young adulthood. When I started to figure out my next chapter, when the kids moved on, I first went through a yoga teacher training, because yoga was something that I'd only been practicing a couple years at that time,
Okay.
just a personal practice,
Mm-hmm.
and was finding so much healing and growth in that I decided to take the teacher training. And that was about 12 years ago
Okay.
that I started teaching
Right,
yoga.
right.
And it was through teaching yoga and assisting in my teachers' retreats and
Mm-hmm.
doing more work that way and teaching classes and touching people, you know,
Right.
and assisting them in poses and
Right.
helping them feel things a certain way just by putting my hands on them.
Right.
Just the amount that you can communicate through touch
Mm-hmm.
was really resonated with me. Like it hit me deep, and I thought I'd like to do something with the physical body as far as moving forward in my
Right.
next career.
Exactly.
So that led me to massage. I loved it from day one. After my little panic attack before my first day of school, massage school, I was like,
Did
oh
you
my
really?
gosh, yeah, because I hadn't been in a formal learning
Sure,
environment
for a
in a
Right.
long time, and
Right.
I questioned, can I still learn?
Yes, of course, of
And
course.
I can,
Yeah.
turns out.
Yeah. And so often too, when you have that fear of like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
When regardless of what that is, once you take that first step, like open the
Yeah.
door and sit down in the classroom or
Yeah.
send the letter or whatever, then you know, it just kind of goes away. So it's just
sure.
a matter of like
You
feeling the
have to
fear,
make
but do it
yourself
anyway.
Take that step off the
Yeah,
ledge and,
exactly,
and trust
'cause you
there's going to
can't-
be something there to catch you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I
And
didn't.
speaking of being caught, though, talk about a little bit about, you know, support you've had along the way. Have your kids always been like, yeah, Mom, you would be a great massage therapist, or you would be an amazing yoga teacher?
Yeah, I
Or
don't
was it
know
more
if
adults in your life? Or
the kids definitely. It was more. They liked being the practice bodies at
There
home.
you go,
When
there
I
you
would come
go.
home with a new technique that I needed to practice for school and for my training, I'd have them pop up on the table, and they're like, "Man, this is the best decision you ever made."
Exactly.
So that was.
Have you thought about
validating,
becoming
I
a
guess.
chef now,
Yeah.
Mom?
Yeah, so I did get some validation that way, and that felt good. But yeah, I mean, my friends and family were incredibly supportive and always willing also to be a practice body. But, but I have so many amazingly capable and creative and people in my life that you need that. You can't. I mean, you can. There's so many people that I think feel alone and yet do amazing things.
Sure.
But at some point along the way, they collect a tribe, you know, and I just feel like that's so important.
Yeah, it's nice
Tribes
to have
are
a support
really
system.
important. But yeah, I had teachers in massage school that really helped a lot. A teacher post massage school that is super close to my heart, who taught me Ashiatsu massage, which is my main focus in my massage practice now.
Talk about
It's a massage that you do with your feet.
Oh, right.
Instead of your hands, and it's an incredible deep tissue massage, but it compresses and stretches the tissue in a different way than your hands can do.
Right. And explain to the listeners that you're actually holding on to bars that are attached to this ceiling. So
correct.
It's not like your entire weight is always
exactly.
on the person.
It's not all or nothing. I have
right.
Much more control than you might think. I'm not walking on you. I'm not standing on you with both feet. One foot is my working foot. My other foot is my standing or stabilizing foot. I can leverage my weight by leaning in or out to create more or less pressure.
I mean, you can really get in there.
You can really get in, and you can really get these long gliding strokes with your feet too, because your legs are longer and stronger than your arms.
That's right. That's right.
The stretch through the spine or through the muscles surrounding the spine, supporting the spine, is incredible. The stretch and length that you can create on the legs and anyway, I could go on and on.
Yeah.
But
that's fantastic.
If you haven't tried it, I definitely
and say
encourage
the
it.
name of it again. It's
Ashiatsu.
Ashiatsu.
Some people are a little turned off or intimidated because of these fears that it's going to be too much.
Right.
But almost everyone that I've ever had that has tried it for the first time won't go back to hands.
Wow. That says a lot.
Yeah.
That says a lot.
And
it's something I'm not that familiar with. I mean, I know of it, but are there fewer practitioners?
Yeah, it's definitely a smaller pool of us that do it.
Right.
Tucson actually has more than other places, and I think largely because of the work that Brenda Blakesley and Southwest Ashiatsu Massage and Bodywork Academy has done, because she's local to Tucson.
Gotcha. Okay. And did you learn from her?
Yes.
Oh, fantastic.
And yeah, I've worked very closely with her over the last 10 years since she's taught me and she's mentored me. And
good.
I'm very grateful for her. Yeah, for sure.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, and my yoga teachers that have just shown me the limitless possibility and potential of yoga on your body and your mind and spirit.
Right.
You know, it's helped me just become a much more well-rounded and grounded person to deal with
right.
Now, trials of life.
Right. Now, how is it, do you have such a good practice and habit with your yoga that you are doing it daily, or are there times where days pass, or, how do you stay kind of on that good path and motivated and focused?
I'm just like anybody else. It ebbs and flows. And goes. I'm on a good flow right now where I am doing some type of a practice daily, whether it's 10 or 15 minutes right before bed, or if it's a full, more vigorous practice in the morning. I am on but I'm probably gearing up for the retreat.
Right, exactly.
It helps me
to
really get into the mindset of that weekend and get in a good space for it. But there's certainly times when I'm doing less of it and more of something else, more hiking or more,
sure. And that's good to probably mix it up a little bit though, anyway, just to, I don't know, use different muscles.
But the beautiful thing is your mat never judges you if it's been a while.
That's
and
the best.
Happy to
have
you
back.
Welcome
back. Have a seat.
Exactly.
That's fantastic. And so do you have some tips for people where maybe they used to do yoga a year ago and they just haven't gotten back into it, or they used to get massages once a month and now it's been a long time? And like, what words of wisdom do you have to share with people just about how to treat their bodies well?
Well, I think, you just have to do it, right? I can't
get your butt
twist your arm and force you to do it. But most people who have had some level of a regularity with yoga or massage or whatever wellness practice it is, and you get away from it, you drift away from it for one reason or another, the validation and the confirmation is in the doing. So regardless of how much time has passed, just, get on your mat or call your therapist and make that appointment, because as soon as you get back on the table, get back on the mat, get back on your meditation pillow, whatever it is, everyone I've talked to who've either returned to their practice after a long time or gotten on a massage table after a long period of time, it's universally the same. It's like, why did I wait so long?
I know. There's the truth.
There's maybe things in your life that you do and you regret having done it, but I guarantee you those things, you put it off. I don't have time. Make the excuses of why this isn't happening for yourself.
Right.
But once you take the step and do it, there's never a regret.
Exactly. And then
what about only benefit?
Maybe what about a listener who is either considering becoming a massage therapist or considering becoming a yoga instructor? Do you have anything to share with them?
For anyone considering anything, like if it's something you have a little returning interest, like it just keeps popping up in your head, or and you kick the can down the road, or you brush it aside as like not important, or I don't have time, I'll do it later, I'll do whatever it is, whether it's a personal or professional endeavor or experience that you have an interest in doing, my advice is don't wait. Like, don't put it off. You're never going to have all your ducks in a row. It's never going to be the right time. You're never going to feel like you have the right preparation or skills, or if you just take that first step, the right people and the right experiences just start showing up in your life to light the way.
It's true. It's true. Just stay open to it and follow through with what your passion is about, and go for it.
Our only limitations are our own selves. We create the biggest barriers. It's not external.
Right. So repeat all the information about your retreat again, with how people can sign up for it, when it is, a little bit more about it again, just to recap that, and then you can share whatever else you'd like to share before we sign off today.
Okay. So Wellness and Wilderness Retreat for Women, and that's a lot of W's.
On the World Wide Web.
It's shortened and condensed to just the retreat.
Okay.
Because it's the premier event that we've hosted thus far the last couple of years. So
Yes.
the retreat. More information can be found or learned by emailing Santa Rita Lodge at birds@santaritalodge.com.
Okay.
And myself or another staff member will get back to you and answer any questions you have. You
Okay.
can also call the main line of the Santa Rita Lodge to have questions answered or to register.
Okay. And it's November?
It's November 3rd through 5th. We
Okay,
start
so
in the
2 nights.
afternoon on Friday, and we wrap up late morning around 11 on Sunday. So
Okay.
it's
I think that sounds perfect.
Yeah, it's enough time to give you a sense of being away, and where you
Exactly.
can kind of let go of where you've left, where you've been, embrace where you are, but not so long that it's impossible to make fit into your life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Everyone deserves a little weekend getaway, right?
Yes.
And even if for whatever reason you can't make the upcoming retreat, then definitely head over to santaritalodge.com to find out more about taking time for hiking and photography. And you can even sign up for the newsletter.
Yes, you can sign up for our newsletter through the website. You can contact us via email through the website. And if you're interested in future events, because now that we're building the yurt, we're planning a lot more for the upcoming year, a lot more day-long events or just specialty classes or lectures. It's also going to be available for other groups to rent for their own events and their own classes or things they'd like to host. So all of those things, if you'd like to be on an email list with current information as it comes about, we send out emails to our wellness email list. If you'd like to be a part of that, then email us your contact information, your email, and we'll make sure that you are in the know all year long.
And that's birds@santaritalodge.com.
You got it.
Birds is plural.
Yes.
birds@santaritalodge.com is the email.com. Okay, fantastic. Anything else you'd like to share before we wrap it up?
Well, thank you for having me.
Of course. Yeah, always good talking to you.
This is really fun and a nice way to share kind of the newest and latest stuff, because it is a real new evolution of Santa Rita Lodge. We're not changing anything, so anybody who's a fan of Santa Rita Lodge, and
it'll still look the same.
It's everything that you love about it is still there, and we still offer it. We're just, adding a little frosting to
definitely
to change the flavor a little bit.
It's such a beautiful area. It really is. And I love sitting there where you have all the bird feeders, and I mean, hundreds of hummingbirds come by, and other birds as well. And even the trogon that's gotten a lot of press lately, that can be spotted here and there. And the wild turkeys are always a fun surprise.
Oh, yeah.
So it's just
Coatis,
a gorgeous
ringtail.
Right.
And, at the retreat, you're going to see all that stuff too. So
yeah, it's a beautiful.
It's not just about yoga and
exactly.
we have sound healing and meditation. All that stuff's going to be wrapped up into the weekend, but we hike and we eat our meals outside, and we have a bonfire party. And so we see on our hikes, we've seen deer and cotamundis, and we had a family of raccoon that were trying to get in on our buffet dinner one night. So
they're smart.
Yeah, so it's fun.
And you don't have to be a yoga expert. All levels are
absolutely
welcome.
Not. And
everyone goes at their own pace.
100%.
That's fantastic. Well, great.
It's more about communing and connecting and being in nature and being with other awesome women, and
definitely. And then down the road, it'll be open to men as well. Just this one in particular.
This one in particular is only women, but we do hope to host some co-ed stuff too.
Perfect. Yeah, that sounds great. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
And thanks so much for everyone who listened today. And head over to wanderandmuse.world to check out some of the other podcasts I've had going on and some other events I've been helping to promote. Thanks so much for listening.